The flowers all stopped smiling. The rain was cold and gray.
My name is Robert Philipp. I want to welcome Cynthia Knight to the Red Room. It's a space where people come up with ideas and end up with pieces of magic that last forever. Welcome.
Thanks, good to be here.
We've been musical partners for almost 14 years now, and I produced her last album, which is new, called Invisible. It took almost 14 years to get there. So bits and pieces recorded along this journey, this road, rough road, very rough. But she did it. Like she did, but also a very satisfying record to do because it speaks volumes about humanity and just being a good person and trying to reach out to other people. So let's start with the first question. Do you like pasta? Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so let me ask you, so when did this musical thing start and where? Where were you? Where were you located, born? How did it start?
Well, my earliest memory of playing an instrument, I would have to say, or even singing, would be when I was probably around 3. My sister took piano lessons, so I would hear her practicing, and the piano just drew me. The sound of the piano drew me, and
I think I was still pooping myself when I was 3. So anyway, that's pretty amazing. And you could read at that age.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My mom.
Yeah, your mom
taught me to read when I was 3. Yeah.
I recall that you said that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when this thing started, why do you think you gravitated towards it? I know it's a hard question.
It was just there, and I just thought everybody was the same. Like, I didn't realize that other people may not have thought about music the same way that I did, but it was just there.
You know what I think? I think it's there for everybody. It's just some people don't see it.
Or they bury it in some way, maybe?
Yeah, maybe, or they don't recognize it, but it's there. It's just some people are kind of like, dinged in the head and say, look, you know what I mean? And then it starts happening. So when did you start writing your first songs?
My first memory of actually writing a tune and putting words to it was around 7. I heard a song on the radio when I was driving in the car with my parents. We didn't really listen to the radio that much, but when we did, I heard Burton Cummings' song, I Would Play a Rhapsody. Which
has a classical background to it.
Yeah. It's got such a pretty melody to it that I went home and started to fool around with it, and then I came up with my own.
Yeah, you were.
But that was the inspiration.
I could see it. But you were also doing like Mozart competitions and things like that, right?
Yeah, I got heavily involved in classical music for most of my teenage years, up till about the age of 22, maybe. I was into it. I enjoyed it. It was kind of the only way I was able to express things at that time. But that all changed because I was always writing songs from the age of 7. Like, I don't even know how many songs I had written by like the age of 14 or 15, probably. I don't know. Hundreds anyway. And but nobody really encouraged it, you know, at least not the people that were close to me.
That's tough when that happens. That's
But I kept doing it anyway.
Which is great.
I kept doing it anyway. It was the strangest thing.
Well, that's what people would call rock and roll, even though it wasn't rock and roll music. But that rebellious spirit of, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was so much rebellious or it wasn't meant to be that. It was more that it just came out like I couldn't stop it. It was more. It was like,
part of you.
It was just more like, if I didn't write a song today, I wouldn't be able to breathe. That's the way it felt.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
So I had to do it.
Well, I know that growing into like womanhood and is that what they call it? Or they call it peoplehood, according to Trudeau.
Whatever.
Anyway, growing into being a woman, and you know, you're a pretty woman. I'm not going to emphasize that part, but it must have been difficult to be taken seriously, because this is my statement, not hers. I know a lot of guys have been in this business for a long time, and a lot of men act like little boys. Really, they do, and they don't take women who write songs seriously. They pretend they do to try to get something else out of them, and it makes me sick. It's nothing that they can't even be educated about this stuff. It's like it's got to just stop. Like it stops with a whack, like a slap in the face. Stop it.
Well, I mean, in this day and age, I mean, there's no excuse, really.
There's no excuse in any age, but that's the way guys act, or you know, not everybody, but a lot of guys act that way, and that's why I like women more than men. Not because I find them more attractive. I mean, I should, because I'm a guy, but that's not it. And with you, it was like it was the music. It was like what you said. I lost a lot of people, and what you were saying in your songs affected me, deeply. And that's why I wanted to capture it, and that's what I was there for, to capture these moments, these songs, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 7 minutes.
Yep.
I had to be there to capture it, and I had to try my best to capture it at the right time. And I know that you weren't ready, because you were going through a big struggle regarding your youth and how serious your upbringing was. Mm-hmm. And I saw all of it change when your mom sadly passed away, December 2nd of 2020. And although I never got to meet her, I was really saddened by it too. And that's when you really felt like you had to say something. And that's when I felt like it's time for this album to come unleashed. And it was more about a campaign than a release to try to make somebody famous, or any of that. It was about connection.
It's always been about connection. Yeah. It's people go through things. Everybody goes through things. It's how you cope with it, and how you move forward, and how when you don't feel so alone, because like when you're going through things, you feel very, very alone.
You are.
And sometimes you get very lost in that, because you get stuck, and you get stuck in a situation for years and years and years, and you just don't know how to get out of it. It becomes like a jail of grief. Like some days I think of it like as being in a hole, like a big hole. Yeah. And you're at the bottom of the hole, and the walls there's nothing to grab onto to get yourself up. Like you're stuck there. You have to think of a way out, you know?
And at that point, you don't have to think anymore, because when you hit the piano,
It just came out.
It starts coming out.
Yeah.
It bleeds out of you.
I couldn't stop it.
It bleeds out of you. It's like it's bleeding out of your fingernails.
Yeah.
It's bleeding out of your mouth. You know, like you have to. And at that moment, it gives the rest of the world an opportunity. Other people will feel that way.
Well, they're going to connect with it.
It's almost like it's their story too.
Yeah.
And it might not be exactly the same story.
But it's the same elements, though.
It is.
We're all human beings.
If you could be anywhere. I mean, this doesn't matter regarding inspiration, but if you could, I know that you gravitate towards Europe a lot, even though you were born in Canada.
I do, yeah, I do.
I do too. I think it's because the fingerprints of the arts are so strong.
It's the age of the art, because it's like the people that came before me, they, like, if they worked on something, they might not see it finished in their lifetime.
Very true.
And 400 or 500 years later, somebody is seeing it who didn't build it, and you see the workmanship, and you go, I wonder how that person was feeling. Like, music is all about emotion, and art in general is all about emotion, and I would like to be there, because I feel like
it's connection.
It's, yeah.
I remember when I was in Vienna, Austria, and I was brought to see St. Stephen's Church, and I looked at it, and it's incredible, because the whole roof is done in mosaic, which is nuts. And it took 400 years for that thing to be built. You think about how many generations that worked on it that never got to see it finished. It's astounding. And it brought tears to me.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same thing with what you do, like these songs, like Invisible, The Truth, The Long Way to Heaven. There's so many. There's 18 songs on this thing. And if you guys want to check it out, all you got to do is look at Cynthia Knight, no S.
Yes, so please.
Cythia.
CYN.
Sorry. You want to spell it? Knight. Go ahead, spell it.
Knight.
Right. So it would be under Bandcamp, and you could find it there. There's other places too. We don't have it handy right now. Why is it the right time for this for you?
Because I had to say something. I couldn't keep it in anymore.
Do you feel like you're still suffering from it?
Yes.
The pain?
Yes. But the music, I wrote the last 2 songs in January after my mom passed, and it was very therapeutic, because I had to get things out that were in for so long that
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, lining it up. Singing. Okay, listen, people. I put out lots of albums.
I know what he's going to ask me.
I've toured, and my voice comes from cigarettes and wine, right from my throat. So, I don't know if I'm filled up with, some kind of disease in my lungs, but I don't really use them that much. But Cynthia says that you have to sing from your feet, and I want you to explain what the hell that means.
That is something I say to my students when they can't get a note out.
Sing from your feet.
I will tell them to sing from their feet, because it's the only way. For me, it's about visualization, right? I guess I don't know, it's the art thing that's, if I can visualize it, I can do it, right?
Right.
So when I think about my feet and I feel them in the ground. Like I can feel it, that the note just, it's got to come from there, because if it's like if you blow up a balloon with helium, you know, and you just let that balloon go, the note, like it's just going to fly, right? So if you want that note to fly, you've got to ground it first, and then it'll just go.
Okay, so next time
It won't take any effort.
Okay, so next time I see some guy who's blowing up balloons with helium, I'm going to suck on the helium. I'm going to have that funny voice, but I'm going to fly away. Is that it?
I know it sounds silly, but
it's not silly. It's
but it works.
Maybe it's like a
for me anyway.
A vibration from the earth or something like that. Maybe like millions of years of people being here.
It's a center of gravity thing. Maybe it's the science, because I like science too, you know. Maybe it's that too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if it's science.
But it's just the way I think about it.
If I put my feet on the ground, I'm not going to go, oh! You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see what you did just now was you put it on. Like I saw the muscles in your throat activate. Like,
but it's my throat, not my feet.
It's not supposed to come from here.
Okay, I know, but my toe's not throbbing. Anyway. Look, I'm really, really proud, again, to be the producer of this record.
And I'm proud that you are a part of it. I really am.
Thank you very much. I've done a lot of production. Some of it was very well known, but I've never worked with an artist so dedicated and so kind of mysterious, wrapped up in pain. I mean, I think I gravitated because I'm the same kind of artist. I was the fat kid who, recorded my music in a basement and would tell people I'm going to get a record deal, and they would laugh at me, and until it happened, and then they said, "Oh well, we knew you could do it."
Then they stopped laughing. Yeah.
We knew. We always knew. I mean, well, they would tell you to get a job, and I had all these jobs that were garbage.
Oh, that's the worst, when people say get a real job. Like
they don't understand.
It takes a lot of hours.
It takes a lot of energy.
Yeah, and just alone practice time where you're by yourself, and you become very introspective, right? Because it takes so much of you to do what you're trying to do. And especially when there's very little support. Like when you have support, I think it's much better. For me, it was more like I couldn't stop it. It wasn't like I was reaching for it. It was like it was there, and I couldn't stop it.
You couldn't put on the brakes. Same thing with me, only that I had the kind of support, let's say, from my parents. I'm just talking about them. That not only was the train rolling, they were behind pushing the train, saying, go, 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 go. And don't let anyone ever tell you.
I mean, I did have a few people along the way that did encourage me, but it was very few.
Yeah.
It was very, very, very few.
I'm glad we found each other. I'm very proud of this album. Like I said, Invisible. Look out for it. Cynthia Knight. Like a knight in shining armor. And she really is. She's mine, that's for sure. She's made me cope with my losses. Best way she knew how. And I think she's done a lot of good. All right, thank you. It's the Red Room. This is where we did this thing. You see those guitars behind you? Those are mine. I built a lot of them. We're not relying on the major labels, although it'd be really nice to get a little bit of help to maybe do a video. It'd be good. It'd be a good video. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Thank you, Cynthia Knight.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
I love your music.
Thanks.